Welcome to the David Thompson Show, fighting tyranny one day at a time. Now, today's a special Friday edition. We're going to be talking about fracking, one of my favorite topics right here in southwestern Pennsylvania. It was brought to my attention by my friend Jane that they started fracking in her neighborhood up there in Economy Borough in Beaver County, not far from here, north of us. Now, I've been through this before, and it's a pretty nasty situation. And she sent me some pictures, and you can see them here. This is what she is seeing just from the road. Now, many of you may not know what fracking exactly is. I'm going to read to you what fracking is so that you have an idea, right? Fracking, or hydraulic fracturing, is a method used to extract natural gas and oil from deep within the Earth's surface. The process involves injecting a mixture of water, sand, and chemicals at high pressure into the underground rock formations to create fractures, allowing trapped gas or oil to flow more freely to the surface. This technique has become a significant part of natural gas and petroleum production, but it also is controversial due to its environmental concerns. Well, and this is what Jane is concerned about up at her neighborhood. And this is what many of her neighbors are worried about. And my condolences to you and your neighbors, Jane, because I know what this is like. When I moved in here about 10 years ago, there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of water trucks going by my house every day. Basically a small 2-lane road that heads into town. Now, the house shook and the noise was ridiculous. The Jake brakes were going off. And what they were doing was taking fresh water to the wells and then bringing contaminated water back. I said contaminated water. And of course, this wasn't pleasing to my ears or my senses, but I digress on that. Now, right off the bat, many people are going to ask me, what is so big of a deal about fracking in southwestern Pennsylvania? Well, it has a pretty big formation of shale. Marcellus Shale Formation is what it's called. And it says fracking in southwestern Pennsylvania is located above the rich Marcellus Shale Formation. By 2023, there were 6,075 existing gas wells within 860 square miles in this area, with an average of about 7 wells in every square mile. Wow. And you can see them on the hills. You can see them when they're done, and they're nasty-looking structures, and they're in pristine farmlands or within wooded areas. They tear basically all the trees down. They displace animals, they tear up the ground, and they put roads up to these places. And I know that's part of it, but it's nasty. The problem is there's more to it than that. Fracking is controversial. And what Jane's finding out up there is that people are worried about what's going to happen to their water. And this is the big concern for many people. Besides the obvious problems, what it looks like, the damage done to the environment, the damage done to the animal life in that area. Many people also believe that it's led to tremor quakes in the Midwest because of the high-pressure fracking done out there. So what I found is this, and I have an article I'm going to read here. Fracking is controversial due to its negative impacts on the environment and human health. The extraction process is intensive and can cause earth tremors and methane leaks. Additionally, fracking requires large amounts of fresh water, which when mixed with sand and chemicals becomes extremely toxic and risks polluting nearby water supply. Chemicals are used in fracking to help make the fracturing and recovery of gas more efficient. They also help to reduce the need for further processing of the gas. Now, ingredients in the chemical that they use is proprietary, and no one knows what's really in it, and it is a poison. So no one really knows, after years of this, how this will react to humans, our health, and of course the health of the animals that live in the area. So as you can see some of the pictures that Jane sent, just from her point of view there, and that's just from the road. She didn't actually go to the site, which you really can't get to. Now I can tell you that this is a really kind of nasty business. It's dirty, it's muddy, and the problem is, of course, the actual water supply. Now, I have an article I'm going to read, and this particular article is from Earth Island Journal. It's basically an institute that studies environment, especially off on the sea coasts. It says EPA confirms that fracking can contaminate drinking water. So let me explain. Right now, you have a president that's going to get rid of every EPA regulation known to man. So right off the bat, this was back in 2016, this article. And there was a battle for many years over fracking and over its basically the possibility that it's contaminating water supplies. We can say here in southwestern Pennsylvania, because we've been fracked for a lot of years now, I think since 2008, we've been fracked. And these water supplies in many areas have become contaminated. People have pretty much proved this from living in these areas. Many people would turn on their faucets. You can light the water on fire because there was methane gas coming up into the water supply. Now, they all deny this, but this is true. Now, the EPA, who, again, even though Trump's going to get rid of all of the regulations, they kind of struggled with this for a long time. And it says here, agency walks back findings in early report, says that hydraulic fracturing can impact water under some circumstances. It says here, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has released its widely anticipated final report on hydraulic fracking or fracking, confirming that the controversial drilling process indeed impacts drinking water under some circumstances. Notably, the report also removes the EPA's misleading line that fracking has not led to widespread systemic impacts on drinking water resources. The Congress made them go back and redo this report because they refused to admit that this process harms drinking water in some circumstances. Well, let me be honest with you. It probably harms the water supply in most circumstances. That chemical they use, it's going to go somewhere. It's going to find its way to some aquifer, to some place that it's going to contaminate. And you cannot clean this water, friends. You cannot process these chemicals out. They're using millions and millions and millions of gallons across this country of fresh water for this process because we need to lower gas prices, which never actually happened. Oh, wait. Yeah, they said we would all be paying less for natural gas and all these things they get oil and gas from. But you never see that because it's always money in their pocket. And your new president's going to double down on that, baby. They're going to drill in your backyard. You're not going to be able to do a thing about it. It's ours. Just ask Donald Trump. We can drill in your backyard and maybe we'll fill it back in when we're done. Don't drink the water. So this has been a problem here in southwestern Pennsylvania. And I'm sure other places, basically in the Midwest where they were drilling, I'm sure it's a problem there too. So I'm going to go on with this because it said here that the conclusion is a major reversal from the EPA's June 2015 pro-fracking draft report. That special widespread systemic line baffled many experts, scientists, and landowners who, despite the egregious headlines, saw clear evidence of fracking-related contamination in water samples. Conversely, the EPA's top line encouraged big oil and gas to push for more drilling around the globe. So the EPA was paid off. Let's be honest. The EPA was paid off. These people will pay off anybody to make sure they can continue to drill and make their money, pocket their money. And Jane, where you're at, they're going to pocket some more money. They're going to frack the daylights out of that ground up there, and they don't really care the consequences of it. They don't care. Let's be quite honest. They don't. Now, here's the question. How do we stop it? You can't, because there's money involved. You're in America, people. All about money. We're all about money here. So Jane and your fellow residents up there in Economy Borough, it's about the money. You got no shot. Live with it. Breathe it. Don't worry about cancer or lung issues and lung problems. Don't worry about it. The government will take care of you. No, they won't take care of you. You're on your own. You're on your own. So when it comes down to it, fracking, oil drilling, when we look at the net benefits, we really have never seen them because this stuff's sold. This is sold to the highest bidder where they can get the best price. Now, Saudi Arabia, biggest oil driller in the world, right? They just stick a straw in and oil pops right up through it. That's how easy it is in Saudi Arabia to drill for oil. But they're investing, people, the Saudis, who make all their money, support their whole country on oil, are putting billions, hundreds of billions of dollars into new clean energy, electric vehicles, and alternatives. Here in the United States, we just shut all that down thanks to Donald Trump. He's going to shut it all down. We don't want any of those. We're not going to put any money into new technologies because we're going to drill, baby, drill. We're just going to do it. Doesn't matter that everybody else in the world's doing it. And by the time we need it, we're going to be, guess what? SOL. Fill in the blanks there, people. So once again, Jane, and all your friends up there, your neighbors, your fellow borough dwellers, just like here in Canonsburg Borough, I feel for you. I've been through it. I've seen it. It's disgusting. It bothered me. And what bothered me so much is this. And I'll tell you this story. I would go to Sheetz every day a while back, maybe 8 years ago. And I still do go to Sheetz every day, but I digress. And there was a guy there, and he was a nice guy. He had a big environmental truck. And his job was to do all the cleanup work for many of the gas well companies here in southwestern Pennsylvania. I won't mention their names. And I started talking to him. I got to know him. And he said, I was called out again. You would not believe how many times they had to clean something up somewhere. And I asked him, I says, do you actually get to clean it up? He goes, we can do all we can, but no. That stuff's there. Wherever it goes, they can't find. It's there forever. It's going to seep into something. It's going to seep into your well water. It's going to seep into your drinking water, into your rivers, your creeks, your lakes. Whatever it is, it's going to be there. And they won't admit it. Nobody wants to admit it. You know why? Because the health benefits don't matter. You'll be having cancer 10 years from now. Nobody's going to say, well, they fracked in my area. No, they won't tell you that. They don't want to think that far ahead because it's always about money. For once, why don't we put the American people first? For once, why don't we put the American people, their health and safety first? I just talked about healthcare and I had comments. People don't get it. People don't get it. Healthcare is terrible here. It doesn't matter how many people have it. 90% of people have healthcare. We can pay for the other 10%, which we should. But the problem isn't that they have it. It's that it's terrible in America. People don't get it. People don't care because it doesn't affect them right now. But environment is forever. And you can never replace what you have today. So we should always err on the side of conservation and environmentalism. Always. Whew. Hey, Jane, I wish you the best. We'll talk again. Let me know if there's any updates. Outside of that whole rant I had, it's all the time I'm putting in today. I'm going to enjoy my weekend. I hope you do too. God bless you. Don't forget, please go over to the Nights Around the Fire, our other podcast, which is with me and Ashley Hamilton. We did one on missing people in forests and woodlands and national parks. That's going to increase too because we fired a lot of people that actually worked in the national parks. So whatever's happening could get worse. I digress there. But please go over. I'm leaving a link to that channel in this description. Go over, say hi to us, like, subscribe, leave a comment, watch the video. We're working on another video we're going to try to get out soon. Other than that, like, subscribe, and share it to both channels. I appreciate you. God bless you. Whew. And I'll see you next time right here from the fracking capital of the world, southwestern Pennsylvania. God bless you. See ya.